Have you ever pondered the reason behind your legs becoming weaker despite the fact that you continue to consume healthy foods? You should make an effort to maintain an active lifestyle on a daily basis and adhere to all of the recommendations that have been given to you. Why do you feel more exhausted after climbing a short flight of steps than you did before? Why is it that standing up from a chair now requires more effort than it did in the past? Is it just the natural process of aging? Or might it be that there is anything else that is subtly reducing the strength in your legs? The truth can take you by surprise. We have been informed for many years that fruit is a nutritious item that is beneficial to the cardiovascular system, the immunological system, and is an essential component of a diet that is well balanced. However, here is something that is rarely brought up. Fruits are not all beneficial for people of advanced age. It is possible that certain types, despite the fact that they have a sweet flavor, are juicy, and appear to be innocuous, are actually slowly but surely weakening your legs day by day. The changes in metabolism and circulation that occur with age reportedly make persons over the age of 60 more susceptible to sugar, acid, and certain substances that are found in food. This information comes from a paper that was published by Harvard Medical School. This indicates that the fruits that were beneficial to you when you were younger may now be causing you health problems in the form of damage to your circulation, muscles, and joints. In addition, this is the most concerning aspect. There is a possibility that you consume these fruits on a daily basis without even being aware of the potential risks they pose. But there is no need to be concerned, since I will assist you in identifying the issue in the video that I am sharing with you today before the harm becomes severe. The 5 worst fruits that adults over the age of 60 should steer clear of if they want to maintain the strength, stability, and flexibility of their legs will be discussed alongside one another. In particular, number 5, which may come as a surprise to you because it is a fruit that practically everyone takes pleasure in eating and feels is beneficial to their health. There is no list of things to steer clear of at the conclusion of this tale. I will also provide you with better options which include fruits that can assist in the reduction of inflammation, the enhancement of circulation, the alleviation of joint discomfort, and even the restoration of muscle strength. If you have ever experienced numbness in your legs during the night, muscle tension for no apparent reason, or simply observed that you are not as swift or stable as you used to be, then this video is a wake-up call that you should not miss out on. It is possible to reverse the process of muscle loss, and I will provide you with all the information you require right now. I ask that you remain with me until the very end because the information that you acquire today has the potential to be the initial step toward recovering your freedom with each step that you take. 1. Pineapple. The fruit that has been lauded for its anti-inflammatory properties for a long time due to the presence of the well-known component bromelain pineapple with its sweet flavor, refreshing aroma, and beautiful yellow hue has been commended for its anti-inflammatory properties throughout the years. On the other hand, there is something that very few people are aware of. It is possible that pineapple can actually have the opposite effect on older folks, particularly when it is consumed on a regular basis. When we get started, I would really appreciate it if you could tell me where you are coming from today. Leave a remark below, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. In addition, make sure you click the subscribe button and adjust your alert settings so that you are never left out of Senior Health's most helpful health advice. And if you are watching at this very now, I want to know that you are agreeing with me. Leave a comment with a 1 if you feel that this video resonates with you. There are around 10 grams of sugar and a relatively high quantity of natural acids in 100 grams of fresh pineapple. If this is not the case, they are classified as type 0. Biologically speaking, the sugar that is found in pineapples causes a rapid increase in the amount of sugar that is found in the blood. This abrupt increase in sugar can cause damage to the small blood arteries that supply the legs and feet, particularly in older people, particularly those who have slow blood circulation or who already have vascular difficulties. What is the end result? It is impossible for the blood to provide the muscular tissues in the legs with sufficient amounts of oxygen and nutrients. Not only does this cause discomfort when walking, but it also causes swelling and a dull ache in the thighs after sitting for an extended period of time or even after a short stroll. A lack of circulation and inflammation of the lining of the blood vessels are the early warning signs of these conditions. But this is not the end of the story. In addition, pineapple includes citric acid and bromelain, both of which have the potential to irritate joint tissues, particularly in cases where the body is already experiencing chronic inflammation. Pineapple might feel like adding gasoline to the fire for elderly people who have a history of joint discomfort. It can increase sensitivity and cause a heavy, sluggish feeling in the legs when walking or moving around. In addition, a study that was published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted the fact that individuals over the age of 60, particularly those with impaired digestion and frail capillaries, are more susceptible to the adverse effects of foods that are rich in acid. If you have these conditions, eating pineapple on a frequent basis can make inflammation worse, not immediately, but gradually over the course of several days. In addition, you need to exercise extra caution if you are taking medications that thin the blood. It is possible for bromelain and pineapple to interact with these medications, which can either increase the risk of bleeding or decrease the effectiveness of the medications. The fact that pineapple, despite being lauded as a wonder anti-inflammatory, can become a health risk for persons over the age of 60 who are taking prescription medications is one of the primary reasons why pineapple is considered to be so. Therefore, if you have ever experienced a feeling of heavier legs after eating a meal that contained pineapple, or if you have experienced pain in the knees and ankles that is characterized by dull swelling, it may be time to reconsider using pineapple in your daily diet. Although you do not have to totally eliminate it from your diet, you should try to reduce the frequency with which you consume it and replace it with fruits that are less inflammatory and kinder, such as blueberries or papaya. This may help keep your legs from gradually growing weaker. 2. A well-known fruit that may not be the best choice for legs that are getting older. Bananas have been recognized for a long time as a nutritious fruit. They are frequently commended for being an excellent source of potassium and energy that helps support the function of muscles. On the other hand, contrary to what we always believed, bananas are not always the best option for people who are older. 100 g of ripe bananas contain approximately 12 g of natural sugar and roughly 23 g of carbs, the majority of which are very quickly absorbed by the body. Therefore, it is possible for the levels of sugar in the blood to rapidly increase after eating a banana. Insulin has the ability to successfully manage this process in younger people. But in those over the age of 60, when insulin function has decreased, blood sugar is more likely to become unstable, which can have a significant impact on blood circulation, particularly in the lower limbs. A significant number of elderly people may experience a sensation of weightiness in their legs after consuming a meal that contains banana. This sensation may be followed by a dull discomfort in the knee joints or fatigued calf muscles, particularly while engaging in light activities such as walking or climbing stairs. Not only does this constitute a sensation of fullness, but it also serves as an indication that the elevated levels of blood sugar are causing damage to the small blood vessels and muscle tissues. Furthermore, bananas have a tendency to concentrate water within the body. Consuming bananas on a daily basis may cause water retention in people who have heart issues or who are on diuretic medications. This can result in swelling in the legs, slight puffiness around the ankles, and a stiff feeling in the legs while standing for extended periods of time. Consuming carbohydrates that are absorbed quickly by the body is associated with decreased blood flow to the limbs in older persons. According to a study conducted by Tufts University, this results in a reduction in the strength of the muscles and an increase in the likelihood of falling. The risk associated with bananas is that the consequences do not manifest themselves right away, but rather gradually accumulate over the course of time. Because of this, it is more difficult for people to comprehend that this fruit, which appears to be completely safe, can be gradually weakening their legs. You might want to think about making some tweaks to your diet if you still enjoy eating bananas and do not want to fully exclude them from your diet. A tiny amount, such as half a banana at a time, should be consumed at a time. If you want to slow down the rate at which your body absorbs sugar, Combine the banana with some healthy fats, such as a few walnuts, natural peanut butter, or a slice of cheese. When you eat bananas on an empty stomach, you should absolutely avoid doing so because doing so will result in a more significant surge in blood sugar and will have a detrimental impact on circulation in the legs. It is not a negative thing to consume bananas. Nevertheless, older folks should use them in a responsible and suitable manner. You might want to explore substituting bananas with other fruits that are lower in sugar and anti-inflammatory, such as papaya or berries. If you are searching for a fruit that is not just nutrient-dense, but also more beneficial to the health of your muscles, bones, and circulatory system. 3. Grapes are a small fruit that have a significant impact on circulation and joints. Grapes are a well-liked fruit because grapes have a sweet flavor. They are simple to consume, and they have a light and refreshing texture. Grapes with their clusters that are small and juicy are considered by many to be the perfect snack, particularly for those who are wanting to increase the amount of antioxidants in their diet. On the other hand, grapes may have understated but important impacts on the health of the legs, particularly on the joints and the circulatory system for people who are over the age of 60. Fruits like grapes have a high concentration of fructose, which is a naturally occurring sugar that is swiftly metabolized by the liver in the body. When a large quantity of fructose is taken, the liver is unable to process it all at once, and begins the process of turning the amount that is not used into fat and uric acid. This uric acid becomes a significant risk factor for the accumulation of crystals in the joints, particularly in the joints that are found in smaller areas such as the knees, ankles, and toes. Gout and recurrent joint pain that does not appear to be caused by an injury are both known to be caused by this condition. In the event that you have ever had a sudden acute pain in your big toe during the night, tightness in your calves, or a dull ache in your knees without any trauma, it is possible that these symptoms are the result of elevated uric acid levels in your body, which can be caused by a diet that is high in fructose, particularly with fruits like grapes. Another factor that contributes to chronic inflammation in the body is fructose. These inflammatory responses build up over time when you consume grapes on a regular basis, which has the effect of damaging the connective tissues that surround your joints and limiting your capacity for mobility. Grapes are particularly dangerous because it is so simple to consume an excessive amount of them. In addition to being little, tender, and delicious, they do not leave you feeling full. Within a short period of time, you could swallow 2 or 3 little cups without even noticing that you have consumed a significant quantity of sugar at that point. According to the findings of a study that was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older persons who consume fruits that are rich in fructose on a regular basis, such as grapes, are at a greater risk of developing joint difficulties, inflammation of soft tissues, and difficulty moving around. On the other hand, fruits that are lower in sugar and rich in anti-inflammatory components, such as cherries and berries, have demonstrated clear benefits for reducing the symptoms of arthritis and improving circulation. If you enjoy the naturally sweet and invigorating flavor of grapes, there is no need to fully abstain from eating them. Nonetheless, you should consume them with awareness. Reduce the amount you consume. Try to avoid eating grapes on a daily basis, and do not use grapes as a substitute for a full snack. Blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries are some examples of fruits that have a lower level of sweetness, a higher fiber content, and stronger anti-inflammatory properties. Other options are strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries. 4. Watermelon, also known as the sweet trap of hydration, has long been associated with summer, freshness, and the ability to quickly restore one's body's water balance. The fact that it contains more than 90% water leads many people to assume that it is the perfect fruit to refresh the body and maintain the appearance of youthful skin. However, very few people are aware that watermelon, despite its look of being juicy, can actually be a delicious trap that causes your legs to get fatigued, painful, and gradually weaker over time. This is especially true for people who are over the age of 60. Watermelon has a fairly high glycemic index (BOMI), which normally ranges from 76 to 80 despite the fact that it has a very modest number of calories. When you consume watermelon, your blood sugar level will rise rapidly and strongly in a manner that is comparable to what occurs when you consume candy. Insulin has the ability to effectively regulate this surge in children and adolescents. Every rapid increase in blood sugar, however, contributes to damage in the small blood vessels, notably in the legs and feet, which is especially problematic for older persons whose capacity to regulate blood sugar has also decreased. Do you ever find that you have legs that are fatigued after eating a light meal that contained a few slices of watermelon? When you stood up after eating watermelon in the evening, did you experience a minor swelling in your ankles and a tightness in your knees? It is not a coincidence by any means. Because of the spike in blood sugar, inflammation is increased in parts of the body that have poorer circulation, particularly in the calves, knees, and ankles area. A quiet inflammation causes damage to the capillary system and has a direct impact on the blood flow to muscle tissues when there is a significant fluctuation in blood sugar levels. The fact that watermelon does not make you feel full is yet another issue for eating it. This makes it simple to consume an excessive amount of food. One thin slice causes another to follow, and before you know it, you have had 2 or 3 slices without even realizing it. It is possible that the overall amount of sugar is equivalent to that of a full can of soda. Furthermore, when watermelon is consumed after a meal, particularly when it is combined with starchy meals, the sugar content of the watermelon causes insulin levels to rise even further. This results in unfavorable effects such as inflammation, dull joint soreness, heaviness when walking, and rapid weariness when ascending stairs. In addition, a report published by the American Clinical Nutrition Institute cautioned that the consumption of foods with a high glycemic index on a regular basis is a primary contributor to decreased insulin sensitivity, the constriction of peripheral blood vessels, and an increased likelihood of experiencing leg cramps throughout the night in older persons. Because of this, watermelon, despite the fact that it appears to be light and innocent, can be unknowingly contributing to the gradual weakening of your legs over time. While this does not necessarily indicate that you should completely eliminate watermelon from your diet, it does suggest that you consume it with a conscious attitude. At the end of a full meal, consume a modest piece and under never circumstances, consume it on an empty stomach. Make sure that you do not use watermelon as a replacement for water, particularly if you are already experiencing leg tiredness, joint discomfort, or numbness during the night. Consider eating ripe papaya or pear if you are seeking for a fruit that is not only refreshing but also easier on your blood sugar levels. It is less likely that these will cause inflammatory reactions because they are less severe. Orange is a subtle assault from the flavor of natural sourness. Oranges are a representation of health, immunity, and the feeling of being fresh. It is common to find them on breakfast tables, whether it be in the form of a glass of orange juice in the morning or as delicious slices in a fruit salad. Oranges, on the other hand, are not always a safe choice for older folks because of the effects of aging on the legs and joints. In addition to their tangy sweetness and high vitamin C content, there is a feature that is frequently missed that has a significant impact on the health of bones, joints, and the circulatory system. This component is known as citric acid. Citric acid is the naturally occurring component that is responsible for the sour flavor of oranges. This acid is something that the stomach and digestive system are able to deal with effectively while you are young. On the other hand, after the age of 60, the lining of the stomach becomes more sensitive and citric acid might start to cause irritation. Not only does this have an effect on the stomach, but it also has repercussions for the bloodstream and the soft tissues. When this acid enters the bloodstream, it has the potential to increase the sensitivity of joint tissues, particularly in individuals who are already experiencing joint deterioration or in those who are suffering from arthritis. It is possible that as a consequence of this, you will experience discomfort in the knees when you wake up, discomfort in the thighs when you walk, or severe pain in the hips after sitting for an extended period of time. Orange juice has approximately 9 g of natural sugar per 100 milliliters of juice, making it one of the fruits with the highest natural sugar content. When the sugar is mixed with citric acid, it causes a quick dip in blood glucose levels, which is then followed by a rapid increase in blood glucose levels. This generates the ideal conditions for inflammation to take place in older persons, which in turn reduces the amount of blood that flows to the legs and compromises the functioning of the circulatory system. It's possible that these micro-level alterations are the cause of the aches and stiffness in your legs that you experience when you walk or cramps that occur at night. According to the findings of a study conducted by the American Clinical Nutrition Institute, older persons who consume acidic foods on a regular basis are at an increased risk of developing connective tissue inflammation around their joints as well as having decreased bone density. Those who have a history of osteoporosis, sciatica, or hip joints that are deficient in strength should be especially concerned about this. In point of fact, consuming orange juice first thing in the morning for a number of years could be one of the hidden reasons behind decreased mobility that is not recognized. What are some ways that you can continue to reap the benefits of oranges without causing harm to your legs? To begin, you should steer clear of orange juice that is packaged in a box or canned, as it frequently contains extra sugar and preservatives that exacerbate inflammation. In the second place, if you want to consume oranges, you should only consume them in the morning after you have finished eating a meal, and you should consume them in full slices. Orange juice should never be consumed by anyone on an empty stomach or immediately before going to bed. It is possible that it is time to consider moving to more alkaline fruits, such as pears or ripe papaya, if you are already suffering leg pain that cannot be explained or stiffness in your knees each morning. Please pause for a moment to think. There have been a lot of travels in your life that you have traveled with your legs. Beginning with your very first steps to those happy afternoons spent playing with friends, and all the way up to the occasions when you stood strong in the face of life's most difficult challenges. In spite of this, there are instances when even a short staircase can leave you breathing heavily. Even a short stroll might cause your legs to feel heavy, fatigued, and even painful. Most of the time we think that this is merely the result of becoming older. On the other hand, as you have seen, growing older is not the source of every single reason. As time passes, your legs are gradually becoming weaker as a result of certain actions that appear to be safe and even deemed beneficial. The 5 vegetables and fruits that you have just learned about are quite widespread. In addition, it is possible that you have been consuming them on a weekly basis without being aware of the effects that they have on your circulation, joints, and muscles. The good news is that this is the case. There is still time to make a change in your life. If you provide your body with the appropriate care, it still has the capacity to cure itself. Also, this does not call for significant or stringent adjustments. Begin with baby steps, such as selecting a more nutritious snack or a more moderate option when it comes to meal times. You can get started on the path to restoring strength in your legs just by going through that. If you are looking for a snack in the afternoon, try snacking on some blueberries rather than watermelon. If you want to avoid eating a banana after breakfast, try eating a piece of papaya instead. It is mellow and mushy. The alterations may appear to be rather minor. However, if you maintain consistency, they have the potential to make a significant difference. You will experience a lighter, stronger, and more flexible sensation in your legs. When you get out of a chair, standing up will no longer feel like a difficult task. Every step you take will make you feel more secure and confident in yourself. Not only that, but you will begin to rediscover the freedom that comes with each and every movement. Having reached this point in time demonstrates to me that you are genuinely concerned about the state of your own health, and I would like to share this with you. You are not the only one. It is estimated that there are millions of people of a similar age who are looking for the same answers as you are. Please tell me about one thing you discovered today, and if there is even a single minor adjustment that you are prepared to make a note of it. I am always here to listen to your journey toward better health. I pray that you are blessed with good health, peace, and the strength to regain control of the situation you are currently facing. I am looking forward to catching up with you in the follow-up videos. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you found today's message to be helpful. This will ensure that you do not miss any future content. Are any of the fruits that are listed here something that you consume on a regular basis? Share your thoughts with me by leaving a comment below. Together, we will continue the path of regaining power in your legs, beginning with the straightforward decisions that you bring to the table on a daily basis.